We're live. And good evening, everybody. And hi, Casey. How you doing tonight?
I am great. How are you?
Coming in hot, long day, and ready to talk some toys, talk to other people, mostly you, but just hang out. We've had some recent developments lately with GI Joe that we really haven't covered on the show, and other things going on with the show. Joe Fest coming up, working on those, and just getting ready to talk some toys.
Nice. Joe Hunter 73 is here. He says, hey, hey. And he
Awesome.
will be at Joe Fest this year.
Oh, that's great.
Yep. We'll get to hang out with Wes. Always a good time. And he's going to sit down and do an interview with me, like you're going to sit down and do an interview with me for my show. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool. Yeah, no, was a good guy. We've talked a couple times, and glad to have you with us. And so, yeah, well, while we're talking about Joe Fest, Casey, I have talked to Ed. He's going to put us next to each other.
Awesome.
And got a couple of bits of info that we'll talk about off camera. But for the most part, yeah, it's going to be a fun-filled Joe Fest, doing things and meeting people, and just having a good time, being around toys and soaking up the sights, the sounds, the smells. Not so much at Joe Fest is like some comic book conventions, but
A couple years ago, it was so hot. I think it might have been 3 years ago. It was so hot that I did not leave the convention center except to go to Beamies one time. The rest of the time, I was indoors because you eat at the bar, you drink at the bar, you got that little walkway to get over to the convention center. So I didn't sweat at all that weekend, and I had a terrific time.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, I've found that at Joe Fest, you do not need shorts inside the convention center.
Or you could pull a mat and wear a hoodie in there on Sunday. What was that? Man up, Matt.
Yeah, no, I'm bored. It's borderline hoodie. I remember I was walking around with, oh gosh, the GI Joe repair shop. He's on X, and we were walking around. There was a guy selling T-shirts, and we're going around the convention floor. Is like the guy having T-shirts was like, man, he should be selling hoodies for the show, make some money.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Joe Fest. Looking forward to meeting everybody, and just sitting at a table and not walking around spending my money all the time. So, but
I'm still going to do some of that. I cannot go there without doing some of that. So we will take turns.
yeah, well,
Hey, you go.
Yeah, you watch my table, I'll watch your table.
Yeah, happy to do it. Happy to do it.
Yeah, so all right. Well, I think the real reason why we might as well start in on the Reaction Plus line that was announced by Super7 at Toy Fair 2025. And I got the image up on screen of the third wave of Arctic Cobra Commander, Cold Slither Zartan, cartoon Snake Eyes, and cartoon Wild Bill. Now, I got the first photo up. What are you thinking, Casey, when you're looking at the new Reaction Plus, the third wave?
All right, I'm loving that Wild Bill. That's definitely cartoon accurate. Uh, the Snake Eyes probably shouldn't have the sword out. He should probably have one of those laser rifles, just so you get the full effect of the cartoon. But it looks good. The Cobra Commander looks good, and probably gonna get some haters on this, but I'm not. I'm not a big fan of the Cold Slither episode. It's okay. So Zartan is not pulling those strings, but I'll still get it. I'll support it because I'm a man of my word. You give me 3 3/4 O-ring Joes, I will buy them until they get to where I'm just like, no thanks. So,
Yeah.
borderline them, I'll buy.
Yeah, it's definitely, something like you. The Zartan is weird because I am a fan of Cold Slither.
I don't hate
And
it. Just not the biggest fan.
well, I was 5, so I was,
Yeah.
I was impressed. And I don't know, it's nice to have Zartan in different outfits. Like as a master of disguise, you should not have 67 versions of Snake Eyes. You should have 67 versions of Zartan. But who was it? I can't remember. Somebody said on another podcast the absolute thing. Every action figure is a Zartan action figure.
Could be. Yes.
So I forget where I heard that. So apologies, but credit where credit's due. Mind blown. But I think it's fun to have Zartan in different outfits anyway. We only got 2 in the vintage line. We only got the 84 and we got the 92 or 93 Ninja Force. So I'm more welcome to have more O-ring Zartan in my life in crazy outfits.
Now, this is the first Reaction Plus Zartan, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Zartan and Wild Bill are new, and we getting our second Cobra Commander and our second Snake Eyes in 3 waves. So, as a business, Snake Eyes sells. As a business, Cobra Commander sells. So you got to do that. It's like the also ran in this wave, which is sad to say, is Wild Bill. Because Wild Bill is the least popular of the 4. He was a vehicle driver, but he does come with a pistol. And you want to take a closer look, Casey?
Sure.
All right. So,
and he is the one I'm looking forward to most.
So we're just going to do it off the main page over here at Super7. So I'm actually looking forward to the winter operations O-ring, guys. This screams Cobra or Cobra Lot or G.I. Joe the movie, Cobra Commander. So I'm for it. Let's go. He can
he looks good.
Put him with some snow serpents. Put him on a Cobra Wolf. Put him on a, Terradrome in the snow, Frozen Land. And, some people were complaining about how they did his pants right here. And it's like, what else were they really going to do?
Right.
I think that's
soft goods on there. Yeah.
It'd be really hard to pull off half plastic, half soft goods with that.
Hey, Joe Hunter 73 West says also for the episode in the snow, Cobra Claws coming to town.
Oh, that's right. Yes. And then you can put them in front of the Joe headquarters, the 1983 Joe headquarters, and then get that upshot.
Yeah.
Ooh, just get some little tinsel and garland. There you go. Oh, that'd be good. That'd be a good shot. And then let's see. Now this one I'm kind of sort of interested. So I went upstairs just before the show and I grabbed my Reaction Plus version 1 Snake Eyes. And you have a different chest mold, you have a different head mold.
So that was more the first one was more comic book, right?
Yeah.
So this would be more cartoon. Yeah. Which I like, for giving us something different.
Yeah, so this is an all new mold, it looks like, and not, first glance, it's like, oh, they're just reusing the Snake Eyes version 1 and they're redecoing it. No, this thing's looking like almost all new molded parts. Even the forearm where the arrow looks different. And then we got Wild Bill. So I like the pearl handled semi-automatic pistol, probably in 1911 at this point. I would have preferred if he came with a revolver, but I'm not going to complain.
Right.
And then he's got that little radio satchel thing going across. So it's nice. We're getting some extra goods.
Yeah, I think he looks good.
And then obviously we got Cold Slither Zartan, rocking out. Great facial expression.
Yeah.
The arms look a little chintzy. That's kind of been a critique of mine. But overall, he looks fun. Even with that wild 1980s teased, hair rocker hair.
I used to have that look back in the day.
I in high school, I was a part of the grunge era. My hair was down on my shoulders. So yeah, I get it. So real quick, I just want to see. Let's see if we can take a look at the individual cards. Let's just see. And so we're pulling up the images right off the Super7s. Say that again?
Have you ordered these yet?
Yes, I ordered the 4-pack right away. Yeah, so Cobra Commander only comes with the same pistol you got with version 1. Looks like a reuse of the head, but that's fine. And then
got to reuse some of the parts to keep the cost down.
Oh yeah, and that's like I said, I'm not against that.
Yeah. Yeah. Wes says he wonders if the next wave will have the rest of Cold Slither. Maybe it depends on how this one sells, probably.
Yeah, or they'll do like a 3-pack.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because I really think, unfortunately, the G.I. Joe Classified guys doing the Cold Slither box set stole some of Super7's thunder.
They probably got the idea from Super7.
Maybe it's corporate synergy.
Yeah, but they probably got the idea.
Yeah, so it looks like Wild Bill, the hat is glued on. It's not a separate piece. I was wondering about that myself.
I'm good with that because I would lose
it. Yeah.
They're not like helmets. They won't just stay on that well.
Yeah. I want to know how he'll fit in the Dragonfly, because I think this is going to look really good in the Dragonfly because the color will pop.
Mm-hmm.
So.
For sure.
And then let's see. She really wants to get a Wild Bill for the Dragonfly too.
She does.
So yeah. Snake Eyes looks, maybe like I said, the picture of the right arm that I saw looked slightly different. I'm looking at the belt. The waist is different. And I'm just giving it a heads up. It's the legs might be reused, but I mean, there's a significant amount of stuff different on this figure that's over the first run, which makes it not as much of a cash grab.
Right.
And the one thing I did was I went up and I found one of my 85 Snake Eyes and it has a Luke's Toy Box head. And I did this a couple years ago. And it just looks really good. It's similar to that. The only big difference is this is a ball neck versus that's going to be a swivel neck. And, I don't know. It's kind of hard when you get a lot of Snake Eyes, especially when for years, all we had was this O-ring version 2 Snake Eyes. And they never remade this as an O-ring ever. It's kind of weird because this was my stunt Snake Eyes. If I wanted to do put them on a diorama or whatever, this is the guy that came out of the box, and he's been, for the most part, upstairs for 3-4 years. Yeah. So, but now we're getting more version 2 Snake Eyes and O-ring. Now it becomes like, the question is, well, how much is too much? Do you need to have doubles or triples of all your favorite characters?
You know, I love Sunbow, but if I had my way, they'd be deep into the comic book Joes before the Sunbow. That's just me. You really can't go wrong either way, but that's where I Joed in when I was a kid was comic books.
I think they're aiming for Sunbow. I think they're going for a slightly younger demographic, Casey. Honestly, being honest, it's like as I'm a little bit younger than you. I grew up with Sunbow, and I think they're going after the more casual person rather than the more hardcore. Because their thoughts is the hardcore people are either going to be like, well, I don't need this, or I don't, I already have it. I'm not filling a gap in my collection. So they're really trying to go after the person that, walks into a Target and sees a Reaction Plus on the shelf, which I have yet in Connecticut. I have yet to see a Reaction Plus figure on pegs anywhere retail other than my local comic book shop. So
Wes wants to know on the Zartan, is the guitar fixed to the hands or is it removable?
well, let's go to the last one there. I'll just back up and scroll. And there is the package that should answer the question for you, Wes. And you know what they don't have a picture of him? Look at the microphone accessory. So you can give the microphone to Cobra Commander ordering his troops around. You'll be joining them soon.
Singing while Zartan plays guitar.
Yeah. So I'm just a close version. So yeah, it's a fun figure. It's like I said, this is 1980. It's definitely a 1985 figure. It brings you right back to those days, Casey, when you had your hair down to wherever.
Not right here.
Oh my gosh.
It was bad. Now I don't have any hair.
Yeah, well, you enjoyed it while you had it.
Yep.
So yeah, no, it's a fun figure. I got the whole, like I said, I got the whole set on pre-order. Casey, did you order it?
Not yet. I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will.
Yeah. So, looking forward to getting them, looking forward to opening them. Probably the Snake Eyes will be the one I least use, but I can see myself every winter breaking out that Cobra Commander and using them in a diorama, or doing like you said, Cobra Claus is coming to town, doing that shot too. That's going to be a nice shot. So yeah, so I'm going to switch over to screens. I got another one, so we'll talk the classifieds. Stop screen.
I hate myself because there's a couple of these classifieds that I kind of want to get. I hate it. I am going to fight the urge, though.
So we're going to talk the digital reveals. Basically, we got Snake Eyes version 4, the Cobra Claw, Battle Armor Cobra Commander, Monkey Wrench, and Major Blood version 2. Which one you want to go with first?
You start with Snake Eyes.
All right. So, no, that didn't that didn't grow up much. I'm going to say this. I am looking forward to the Snake Eyes.
Me too.
I am 75% certain I'll buy it. This is the Snake Eyes that this was my Snake Eyes in the comic book. I loved the Andrew Wildman run. I loved issue, 128 through 134. Those were my first real, like, I was hardcore GI Joe at that point. And this was the Snake Eyes. This was the guy that was zombified by Firefly. You know, it was, then he storms the whole Duke, Snake Eyes, and Roadblock and Lady J storming Cobra Island and fighting Firefly and all the bats.
Mhm.
That is an amazing, that for me, that was like an awesome story. And
For
you know,
sure.
it's not like the Dr. Venom saga, it's not like the Cobra Island Civil War, but for somebody that was 12 reading these and picking them off the rack, this is my Snake Eyes. This, looking at this guy, just brings back huge amounts of positive GI Joe memories.
Jim Eyes here. He was never a fan of this version of Snake Eyes, but the classified take on it make me worth it. Make me want
Oh, hey, good evening, Jim. Glad to have you aboard. Yeah, so yeah, the only thing is, and I wish I could zoom in a little bit more, but I really looked at his arm guards. Now on the original figure, the original V4 Snake Eyes, it has like kanji or symbols
it.
on those, and this doesn't have that, which to me loses a little bit of that authenticity. And but overall, like, it's just a great figure. It's just awesome.
Yeah, I
That
love
me
this version of Snake Eyes. When it came out, I wasn't into collecting, but when I got back into GI Joe, just how the red visor, I thought, and throwing the blue on the Snake Eyes was brilliant because you just had all that black all those years. I loved it, and me and Hillbilly always have a debate: version 3 or version 4, which one's better? I always go 4. He always goes with 3, but you can't go wrong either way.
that's a good question. I love 3. Uh Favorite issues of 3 was with version 3 uniform is Snake Eyes penetrating into Barovia to rescue George Strawhacker. And so that's issues 104 through 108. And yeah, I love that Snake Eyes too. That's, man, that's hard. That's a hard
It's a
call.
hard question, but I don't know. I love how the red visor sets that one off.
Yeah, if they do a version 3, I will have to buy the version 3 as well. And the version 3 has to have the spike knuckle trench knives come out of his chest,
Yeah,
like
they
the
have to be removable. Yes.
4-inch figure did.
Yeah.
So why don't we go now? We'll go to the Cobra Claw now. I think this is one of the perfect small vehicles of the classified line.
It's pretty cool, but it means an easy pass for me, just because I don't have that love for classified.
Yeah, I'll go with it. If it was something a little more bonkers off the wall, like we shouldn't be getting this, it might scratch that itch. Like I have the Tiger Paw and Wreckage,
Mm-hmm.
and because I love Wreckage, and yeah, but if this is something bonkers, like, I don't know what could be bonkers.
Pogo.
A Pogo? Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Or yeah, Pogo. I mean, geez, there's so many to choose from. Buzzbore.
Buzzbore.
Buzzbore would be ridiculous. I'd probably go for something ridiculous more than this. This is an iconic Cobra toy,
For
much
sure.
like the Trouble Bubble.
Mm-hmm.
I like the claw more than the Trouble Bubble, but yeah, only because I'm not doing classified. Really,
Right.
this is a pass too for me. But I do like the fact that it comes with a figure. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they still convince themselves that yes, this is a toy line.
Yeah.
So there, people want the extra female figure.
And you get 3 options of weapons, and it looks like what, 4 different heads.
3 heads and 1 helmet. So yeah, no, it's
Okay.
you're getting. And is that a stand? Is that a figure stand?
I don't know.
You're
Are
gonna
they finally
lose me
putting
for a
figure
second.
stands in there?
At
Yes,
least,
that is a figure stand.
oh, jeez. Dear Lord, just put figure stands with all the figures.
Right?
I mean, I know it's a cop out for some people, but I really do appreciate a stand.
What's up, Zazel? Good to see you, buddy.
Oh, Zazel in the house. Welcome, Zazel. Oh, Jim says he'll be buying the claw and
That's
selling
cool.
the figure. The Snake Eyes trilogy. Oh, Jim also says the Snake Eyes trilogy was great. Part of it tells how he got his version 3 uniform. I think if they should do a 3-pack, Jim, of the 3 torturers. And then you can take them apart and then create the Snake Eyes. That's what you should do. So you're not only getting the 3 torturers, but then you take them apart and then you get the snake. Oh, you get a naked Snake Eyes figure. And then he has to kill each one of them. And then you can swap the parts so this way. Yeah. So nice 4-figure set. Yep.
Or it
Naked
could be like
Snake
a
Eyes
build a
figure.
figure.
A build a figure. Nice. You know what? That's something too. Marvel Legends has kind of stopped with the build a figures, it looks like.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that G.I. Joe didn't go with a build a figure, because a build a figure bat would have been build a figure bat, build a figure Serpentor. Speaking of Serpentor, we got this little guy. So we're talking about armored Cobra Commander. He's got 2 heads, one with snake eyes, and he's got a pet iguana. And I tweeted out, I was watching the Deke episodes for the first time because my wife got me the DVDs for Christmas. And then I was watching Operation Dragonfire when they turned Serpentor into the iguana. I'm going to buy this figure. I'm going to buy this figure only because that is such an obscure, like, nod to the wacky fans that it's just, I will never take it. I'll probably never take it out of the box, but I'll just be like, yeah, it's just cool because there's version 2 Serpentor.
I never
mean,
thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, really, with Operation Dragonfire, I mean, you got Copperhead. We have Naugahyde. We have Zorana. Baroness, we got the 7-inch Ultimates, but you can use any one of the other Baronesses we've gotten. So, really, all that's left is version 2 Destro, and you basically got the Cobra crew from Operation Dragonfire. Yeah, you got Metalhead. So I don't think Metalhead's in that one, but anyway, I'm here for Operation Dragonfire. I'm showing some love for the Deke, the do it cheap guys.
That is their best. Let's be fair. Operation Dragonfire is their best. Deke.
It is, but
they started strong.
Well, I did watch Granny, whatever, Granny Dearest, where we meet Metalhead's grandma. That was funny.
I think where they lost me is when they played football with tanks.
I mean, we can. If we ever decided to review Sunbow, which will probably be somewhere in the next 300 episodes. But I'm sure we can find some ridiculous stuff in the Sunbow show. And then we're getting
good.
And then we're getting the new version of Major Blood. And really, it's he's pinless. He's got a minor redeco. I mean, I had the Cobra Island version. It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any reason really to improve or change it. But they went ahead and did it. Yay. This one would be a pass, even if I was like, unless it was like I have to get everything classified.
Right.
No, this one's a pass.
I don't do classified, so it's an easy pass, but it looks good.
So last up is Monkey Wrench. Just make sure. Oh, Ronnie Trickshot's in the house. Good evening, Ronnie. So let's see. Let's take so he's got a face mask, he's got the bandana, so you can have the bandana up or down. You've got an extra head, which looks I don't know why he needed an extra head. That's just I don't get it. And you got the axes, you got his signature spear weapon, and he's got a revolver. So it's kind of taking like a very basic O-ring figure and making him normal, like
Yeah,
giving him the right amount of accessories. Because that was one of my problems with the Copperhead figure was there was no accessories. I was just like it was just boring. And then we get to the snake armor. So, all right, you got any extra thoughts, Casey, on it, or
no, the only one I'm even halfway considering would be that Snake Eyes, just because I like that look so much. But more than likely, I won't get any of them.
yeah,
Too many irons in the fire.
yeah, no, it's like yeah, I know. I see your Motu off to your left. And I know you were showing me just before the show you got some great deals on some Motu.
Yeah,
And
that was the first time I opened a box. I just got today.
oh wow, cool, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I've been like I said, I've really gotten very little lately. The newest thing I got was my Mandalorian with IG-12. Just because it's just a great scene of Grogu just being
Yeah.
annoying kid. I loved it.
Did you
And
get your sorry to interrupt, but did you get your in the Navy yet?
nope, I haven't gotten in the Navy yet. I am anxiously awaiting to crew up that flag.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's
Wes showed his off this morning on the show. Really cool stuff. And a
show
couple
off.
of people in the chat were like, "Yeah, I got mine 2 days ago." So it's just kind of curious to see if you got yours yet.
No, I forget how many I got. I got a bunch coming in. And from what I heard, he was shipping the smaller orders first, which I guess
Yeah,
that's where the way he's doing it.
you know they're coming.
Yeah, I know they're coming. He showed off the Heavy Armor Toys showed off all the pictures of all their junk. So it's like I guess he's got some work ahead of him. So I'm just gonna be patient and not be a dick, and hopefully in a reasonable time fashion, I will have my figures and I'll be happy.
Yep. But it's going to look good on that flag when they come in.
Yeah, yeah. The next couple weeks, one of my projects, I'm almost done with. Personally, I'm almost done cataloging all my comic books. So last year in the middle of the year, when I decided to start selling my stuff at toy shows, uh, I started selling comic books out of the collection, and then I was like, what do I have? What don't I have? And the easiest way I felt to figure that out was to mark them all sold in my CLZ app and then eventually rescan them in.
Mm-hmm.
So when I've been going to how many did I get? Oh, Joe, I think I have somewhere on the order of 2 to 4 sets coming, and I can't remember how many. I'm in it for like about 200 and change. So I forget how that's like maybe 10. Is that like 10 or 12 figures? So I got one of each, and I got multiples of like the CBs, the Navy SEAL. No, I think I only got one Navy SEAL, but I did. I got like a whole bunch, and that's what I felt like I needed.
Yeah. Now, we were trying to figure out today, and we're pretty sure we're right, but this Kickstarter kicked off after Longbow, and Recall, right?
Yes. Yes. It's definitely after Longbow, Recall. And actually, I can probably tell you, pull up ye old Kickstarter app on my phone.
And I'm not asking that question to throw shade at those two companies. It's just I'm looking forward to Longbow so much that I'm not impatient, but I'm just really looking forward to getting those.
Yeah. So the newest one that I backed was in the Navy. That was definitely the newest one. Then the one before that was Legends of the Hidden Force.
I think I've
Before
got 8
that,
of those.
yep. The before that was Operation Recall, and then before that was Call Sign Longbow. So we've been waiting the longest for Call Sign Longbow. But
Does it
Call
have a
Sign
date? Does it have a date on there for when
for
we backed it?
which one do you want?
Longbow.
Okay.
I've been fighting the urge to look it up.
June 11th, 2022. So we're going on 3 years.
Better than I thought.
The worst one I ever had was I backed a guy for comic books for oh god, it was the Battle of Captain Willie Schultz. And I waited it doesn't even show up on my screen now. Yeah, The Lonely War of Captain Willie Schultz. So that one I waited like 6 years. And I didn't even get my 100% reward. I only got the book. I was supposed to get the book and some original art, and the guy it was like the absolute cluster of all Kickstarters.
Kickstarter
The guy
scenarios.
was kickstartering to fund previous Kickstarters because he kept going over budget and he kept going over budget. And granted, he did really nice work and he worked with really good people, but he just got so in over his head. And then so yeah, because it was before COVID when this whole thing went down.
Yeah.
So and then so during the whole period, the guy who wrote the artist Wayne Van Zant, who did the final chapter, sold all the original art at a comic show because he never got paid from the guy who did the Kickstarter. Then the Kickstarter guy got COVID and died. Then all the printed books got held up in probate. So it was an absolute nightmare. And then at the very end, I got a book that I could have bought off of Amazon for $30, and I backed it for like almost $400 because I wanted that original art. So yeah, that was my worst experience with Kickstarter.
Did you see Ronnie's comment about the Kickstarter?
It's early 2021.
No, Ronnie's.
Oh, Ronnie, call sign long. Oh my god. Yeah, that one got your call.
That was a good one.
I mean, I will say this. That's Grindstone Toys. I really, really dig the figure they did in conjunction with Skeletron.
Mhm.
Really, really dig that figure. That was my favorite O-ring figure of last year. Just because it just really resonated with me more than even Delta 17's large group, which was overall basically the best O-ring line. But when they released their Ghost figure, which used several of the same parts of the Wolf Trooper, it just didn't. I didn't like it nearly as much, which was weird.
It. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, so
and it's probably the figure I was looking forward to least out of that set. So I'm excited for the other ones. If I liked Ghost as much as I did, the ones I'm really looking forward to has got to be better, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be a good product. I'm really also looking forward to Operation Recall. you can definitely tell a difference with the sculpting
Mm-hmm.
because the Bill Merkline was involved with Operation Recall, and you're getting that hand sculpted feel of proportions that's just a little bit different than the other guys who were doing everything in CG, or in CAD CAM. So that is going to be a huge, I think, something that's really going to warrant a real critical look. But then and then you got Legends of the Hidden Force, which I backed. It's basically 1995 Ninja Force, really.
Well, I don't think there is. I don't know. They look cooler than Ninja Force to me because I was not a Ninja Force guy. I'm excited for them. I think I went in on like 8 figures, 6 or 8, hope 8. But I'm excited for those. I love all the updates we get from them. I think the packaging looks fantastic. And I would say we'll probably get that before we get the other two.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I think there's still a lot coming out, and we still have Delta 17, and they're working on their second line right now. Correct?
They got some 1.5 stuff, and they're always looking at what they're going to do next. You know, they got the Hind, but that'll probably be a crowd fund.
I'm in.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
No brainer.
I know they're going to have some special releases for Joe Fest, a 2-pack repaint of a troop builder that we had. I'm thinking it's going to be Thunder Battalion, but I don't know.
You're crossing your fingers. It's going to be Thunder Battalion.
I'm not. Yeah, I am because that is my favorite Tuesday favorite troop builder. So that would be fine with me. The only other one it could be would be the Delta Squad. It could be them.
Could be the Delta Squad. And you know what? I like those troop builders.
Me too. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm really rooting for Delta 17. They've really impressed me out of the gate. And Ronnie, yes, I am going to Joe Fest if you missed the very beginning. So Casey and I, we each have booths. And I talked it over with Ed over email this weekend, and we're going to be next to each other. So if you find Casey, you'll find me. If you don't find one of us, you'll know where the other one is because we'll know each other's whereabouts because we're probably going to be watching something together or something.
Sure.
But I plan on doing a lot of hanging out and just meeting a lot of people. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to save some money this year. I know I say that every year, but honestly, I'm gonna look for some deals on Motu. Hope I didn't cut your ratings in half right now because I said the word Motu. But I always find great deals at Joe Fest that I can't pass up. So I'm hoping that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some Palatoy, like the 5 POA mostly. I love those, like the Q Force. I'd like to get a bunch of those and their SAS. Red Shadows.
Yeah, there's definitely last year's Joe Fest was like the year of Action Force. It was the year of, the international British, with Brian Hickey and Patty Lennon coming in from Total Toy Books. In case Ronnie. So I mean, it was definitely an different experience last year than it was the year before for me. Casey, you've gone a bunch of times. Does it have the same general feel, or do you feel that it changes each year with like a theme or just the air in the convention?
I would say to me, because when you first meet me, I'm a pretty shy guy, but I come on my shell, and every year I'm more confident, and I'm just going to talk to everybody. I'll stop people I've never seen in my life and talk to them. And there's great conversations to be had. Everybody's got their own different Joe experience, their own way they've, done all this. And it is a blast. You can go there and not drop a lot of money. That's easy. You don't have to.
It's
But
very easy though.
it's very easy to spend money because I love exclusives. I love supporting smaller companies. Like a couple years ago, I bought all the first series Series 1 of AWOC, which is like the 7-inch. They pair well with my Masterverse. I think it's Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Those figures are fantastic. I got all those. I went heavy into Dime Novel Legends last year.
Robo Skull.
Robo Skull. I got, of course, Delta 17. Got some extra troop builders. I'll probably do that again this year. I'll get some more Thunder Battalion this year. Plus, there are a couple exclusive. They're going to have a weapons pack this year. I don't know. Just the smaller companies are doing stuff that I want to support.
Absolutely.
And I'll see what's there this year. Could be other stuff.
Yeah, I'm planning on just doing a hangout this year, not spending hardly any money. The goal is to meet people, have the booth, have some stuff at the booth, have my laptop at the booth, and just have a fun time and just do things and talk, not spend money, get hoarse, just it's I got I'm not really that's my big show this year. With the other biggest one being Terrificon in August. And then I got 2 smaller shows coming up, one in April. That's right. Casey knows it's right down the street from my house because we've been chatting. And then there's my New Haven show. They finally released the new dates in June. So I'm going to vend there and get some Joe Fest money because Joe Fest costs people.
It does. It does. I think I've got my hotel room's booked. That's like $1,100, I think, because I stay 4 days. But it's worth it. I got a special card just for the hotel. I'm gonna pay it off. Do it again next year.
Yeah, that's really my biggest thing left is I just got to do the hotel room, which is going to be expensive because I'm going to be there every day, especially when you have a table, you have to be there every day. And then the other thing is my flight. But getting everything squared away with Ed this weekend was like, it's like off that, I've talked to my t-shirt guy. I talked to, my t-shirt guy, and that's it. So, but yeah, no, I'm planning on having a lot of fun for Joe Fest. That's one thing that I love that came out of this podcast was hanging out with friends and talking to friends, and then we're like, hey, we should meet up sometime and let's go do Joe Fest. I know Codename Iowa is like second on the list.
Now I'm thinking next year, because I got my extra week's vacation at work now. I only went to the last PowerCon, but I had such a great time. So I might do the Jolanta PowerCon thing next year. Just because, it was such a fun time. And I didn't spend a dime at PowerCon. Well, I take that back. I spent $10 on some stickers for my car. But I didn't buy any toys. Just talked to Kavanaugh, Lawrence from A Funk with Toys, Mega J. That's where I met Hillbilly for the first time. So yeah,
it was all downhill from there. Yeah. So speaking of Hillbilly, I don't know anybody watching this. So if you downloaded the first run of 83 HQ headquarters, and you're like, why did it cut off at 27 minutes? Yes, I've heard of that from multiple people. So you have to delete your download and then re-download it from the RSS feed, depending on what you use to listen. The instructions change, but if you listen direct on Spotify, it works fine. And if you listen on YouTube, here on YouTube, it plays fine. I re-downloaded that, so I took care of those two. But I got some interesting comments from, I believe, Joe 173 regarding the edited out the excerpts from, because they were really funny. And it was, I really want to say Hillbilly's an awesome guy to talk to and hang out with.
Yeah. And then none of that's fake. That's all hillbilly. And that's the fun part about it. And he doesn't care that I pick at the things he says. He thinks it's funny. Like, he got tripped up on Turret today on our show, and he could never get it right. It was hilarious.
No, it's good dude. And I don't know if Jim Meal is still here, but thanks for showing up today and saying hi, and thanks for being on and talk to Cobra Stun a couple weeks ago. That was fun too.
Yes, it was.
So now basically the last couple weeks, Casey and I have had just scheduling problems, and I'm like, nope, first Saturday of the month, that's when we're doing a live stream, and that's when we're going to continue to do live streams. I'm going to get better at promoting my own podcast, because I'm a very task oriented individual, and I just is like, I got to do it. And as long as there's no technical issues, and I'm feeling well, there's no reason to not do it. And work's just been kicking my butt. That's why it took me 3 weeks to edit that 83 HQ episode, because there's no reason why that should have taken 3 weeks.
It wouldn't have taken me 3 weeks because I don't edit.
Yeah, when you listen, that's one of the things left in. But yeah, no, it's been good. It's been it's good time to be a Joe fan. It really is. A lot of people are coming out to talk Joe, to do shows like this. They gone. He's usually in the chat. He did his live stream for the first time in a while last night. I missed him by a minute or two, and I just made sure I liked his video. I'm going to watch it later. Casey, I catch yours on the podcatcher, a week or two when you post it.
It's usually like a month or so. I'm behind.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of things, too. So we're actually going to be regularly producing new episodes, because Spotify had issues with some of my episodes, 5 of them, and I was able to find the edit files for 4 of them. So over the next 4 weeks, even if there's an issue, maybe you'll rediscover an old episode or an old missile of the Chaplain System Murder Pod, as I've had to re-edit them to take out some things that Spotify had issues with. Basically, I was young, dumb, and stupid, or I took chances and I let the chips fall where they may. So over the next 4 weeks, I've already got 2 of them fixed and scheduled for release. So there will be regular episodes, and maybe even some weeks 2 episodes coming out. So and Casey and I got to talk about what our next episode is. Definitely going to be comic book. We've got a couple of ideas for our next comic book. We got silent. What are they called? What are they calling these? The silent missions.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we have Silent Missions Beachhead, which I have not read yet. I was unable to get to the comic book shop on Wednesday because my son had an activity that I needed to be there for. And
I didn't see it at the comic store. It's already out.
Yeah. So yeah.
I was at the comic store on Thursday. It wasn't in my pool, and I did a lap, and I didn't see it there either.
All right. So
I'll have to take care of that.
Yeah, I got asked because I show up my local comic shop. He knows I show up on weeks that end with G.I. Joe. So he's like, you didn't show up. He texted me today. He's like, you didn't show up this week. Is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, I just, and then he's like, do you want the ratio variants? I will put them in your pull because, and I'm like, you don't have to do that, but yeah. I told him I didn't want the issue 21 because they reprinted issue 21 again.
Right.
And how many copies of issue 21 do I need? I am not that level of completionist.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to complete on issue 21 is I want to get to a convention or do a mail away signing because really this is bothering me. I need to get Steve Lealoa's signature, and I would really hope that I can still get Ed Hannigan's signature because I have a G.I. Joe 21 signed by Klaus Johnson and Larry Hama. And I would really like to have all 4 of those signatures on that book.
You know, Matt's got the best issue 21 signed by Hama. It is beat to death. It is just. We took a picture of Larry holding it up, and it was so funny. He was smiling from ear to ear, and it was just all mangled. And he's like, "This was been read." It has.
Yeah, there's very few things I regret in life. Selling my childhood Joes is number 1 on the list, and selling my original copies of issue 101, 104, 105, 108. Those were my first 4 Joe books, and I regret getting rid of those. My mom vacuumed up an issue 133, and I'm talking about like this is 1992, 1993. She vacuumed it up, and I replaced that one. I don't miss the one that my mom vacuumed up. That's
yeah.
But yeah, those are the only 4 books I've really replaced from my childhood. And then every other one that I got new, I still have.
That's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's just been, it's a good time to talk. It's a good time to, catch up, talk what's going on at the show, and, talk about new stuff, Casey's Motu obsession, and, just hang out.
So I finally opened up my new Masterverse Beastman today.
That looks really nice.
That looks cool. I love how the whip's not just a wire. So it's really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, this is literally everything that we imagined in the 80s coming into our hands today. Oh, Ronnie. So
a fair share, I'm sure.
Fair share, yeah. I have a friend, Sal. He's my t-shirt guy. I went over his house, and I probably, Casey, I know you've probably heard the story. He took out all his G.I. Joe stuff and laid it out for when I got there. And he's like, can you help me sort this stuff out? And I'm like, looking at it, it's all 82 to 86 G.I. Joe stuff, which I know very well. And I'm like, yeah, give me 15 minutes, going through. So the poor guy had a complete Tomahawk, but no lift ticket. He had the lift ticket's mic in the box. And I'm like, where's the lift ticket? And he's like, what do you mean? I don't have it. He's like, what do you mean? You've got a mint Tomahawk. My Tomahawk is over there. So that's why I'm gesturing over there. But he's like, you got everything but the figure. The figure is the cheapest part of this whole toy. And you've got every other part. And he had a good laugh over that.
Tell him that little microphone's worth way more than the figure itself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dusty. I never had a Dusty bipod. I never had lift ticket as a kid. So I did pretty good. I think I had basically everything of my G.I. Joes other than the fact that I had a bunch of broken thumbs and I had a bunch of broken waists. Some broken O-rings, but that was just par for the course. And my dad really wasn't handy. You know what I mean? The knowledge wasn't out there. So, my dad tried his best. God, I love, I don't want to say God bless him. He's still alive. leave. But he did his best, and I respect him for that. But when you don't know, you just try what you do know. And yeah, no, geez, yeah.
I still remember when Star Wars came out, the figures. My C3PO was seized up. Nothing would move. And as a kid, I'm like, what am I going to do? And my dad took it over to the stove, turned the heat on, held it over the stove for a little bit, and everything started to move. I thought that was, at that age, I thought that was just genius.
That you know what? Dad was a smart guy. He thought about it. He had the right solution.
Yep.
And what do we do with our action figures now? Take a hairdryer to
hair dryer, yes.
When I had my Valiverse figures, I remember hair drying them, popping them apart.
Yep. Yeah, I watched a video Bobby did where people were complaining that they weren't going on the foot pegs right, and he's like, sorry, just hair dryer the feet for a few minutes, and I did that, and it worked perfectly. So
yeah, and running. Oh, stretcher. Love stretcher. From just 20 minutes north of me in Hartford, Connecticut, where he was born.
You said Terrificon earlier. Where's that at?
That's at Mohegan Sun, which is in the southeast corner of the state. So it's about an hour drive from me. I got my Saturday ticket. See all my friends.
When is that?
August 8th through 10th.
Last year Matt wanted to go to that. So who knows? We might show up on a Saturday.
Dude, that'd be awesome. Let me know if you really are serious. I'll buy tickets for you and have them waiting for you. You get a discount.
I'll talk to him. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I'll talk to him.
Because I can buy. Yeah. No problem. Yeah, it's one of the best comic shows in the Northeast. It's really comic centric. We do have, the celebrities come in. Last year was Charlie Cox, who got me to love Daredevil. And then this year, I think the biggest name right now is Haley Atwell, who was just announced in, I forget which Marvel movie she just got announced in. Avengers Doomsday or something.
I'm more of a DC guy.
Yeah, well, I'm a Haley Atwell guy. She's pretty. And but yeah, but they have they're announcing the guests. They got all of Charles Soule showing up. Ron Garney's going to be there. And they have a bunch, like Jerry Ordway's a fixture there. The promoter is very good friends with Jerry Ordway. And another guy that's always shows up that's a big DC guy and also Charlton Comics is Paul Kupperberg.
Oh.
So he shows up. He shows up a lot. And there's a lot of comic creators in in Fairfield County, which is near New York City. And they come to Terrificon, and it's just what he does. It's I think you saw photos of me waiting outside last year to get in. Like it was like a 2-hour walk. And they gone. Hello. Welcome to the show. Missed your show last night.
Just gnarly.
Just gnarly. We're wrapping things up. It's been a good talk. Yeah, I'm running out of steam.
Yeah. Yeah. I know next week we're having, we just got confirmed, Hillbilly's scheduled, Paul Tuckett. It's a 12-inch G.I. Joe. So we're going to have a 12-inch G.I. Joe show next week, which will be fun. I love learning stuff. And I get to see all that up close 2 times a year at Kentuckiana. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's nice. I mean, like I said, the G.I. Joe space is so huge.
Mm-hmm.
it's older than us. I mean, it's been around for 60 years. So I mean, I mean, you have the 12-inch Joe, then you have what, the 8-inch Super Joe,
Mm-hmm.
and then then you have G.I. Joe Real American Hero. Then you have Sergeant Savage and G.I. Joe Extreme. Well, it's part of Joe. It's 5-inch.
Mm.
And then you go to the middle years. And during the middle years, you have, was Sigma 6 at the end? Was Sigma 6 like 2007? I'm trying to
I
remember.
don't know. I can never bring myself to buy a Sigma 6 figure no matter how cheap I find them. I don't know what it is. It's like I want something from every era, but I've been able to pull trigger on one.
They gone celebrating his new classified Storm Shadow. Awesome.
Nice.
So now, would you get a Sigma 6 O-ring figure?
I don't. Maybe I just have to. I'd have to see one.
So Sigma 6 did O-ring figures too. I've been
Really?
really eyeing a certain O-ring toy on Mercari for about 3 months now. The G.I. Joe Rock, the ROCC.
Hmm.
And it's an O-ring. I think it's Big Shoulders O-ring, so it's middle years. But I think I just want the toy. I just want the vehicle.
Yeah,
And
most of the Sigma 6s I see are like the Spirit or Snake Eyes, and they're just goofy compared to what we had as kids. I don't know.
yeah. And then you got Modern Era, which is really easy to do. There's a lot of great choices.
Oh
And
yeah.
then you get classified. So I mean, it's really there's a lot. And now you got the resurgence of the retro O-rings from Hasbro, and you got the Super 7s.
Yeah.
And then you got Hiya Toys for the 4 and an 1/8 inch figures.
I really want to get a couple of the Hiya toys.
Ronnie is not a big fan of Sigma 6.
I was laughing at that. Ronnie's on one tonight. He's nailing it.
Well, he's up late for your show in the morning, and now he's wide awake up early in the morning for ours for this one. So, oh man. Yeah, I'm still wrestling. I still have a G.I. Joe Pit that's still in the box, but the box came unglued. I don't know what to do with it. Nobody wants to buy it when I sell it when I vend at a toy show. I think one day I'm just going to open it up and just do something. So, but anyway, well, I don't know, Casey. You think it's ready to wrap it up.
I think we can wrap it up.
We can wrap it up. All right. Well, everybody in the comments, thank you for showing up. Anybody watching the replay, thanks for watching the replay. It means a lot. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Picked up one extra subscriber today, so Casey must have talked about this show on his stream. And catch me anywhere you're on social media at Chaplain Joe Pod and chaplainjoepod@gmail.com. And Casey, why don't you tell anybody if they just want to hang out with you?
Podcast from the Pit every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern. Just grab your cup of coffee, bowl of cereal. Treat it like Saturday morning cartoons.
And if you have to work Saturdays, watch it at work if you can.
If not, catch that replay. It's cool.
All right. On that note, guys, be decent to each other. Have a good night.
Take care, everybody.